Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. For those of you all who are new to me, I am Jennifer Yarbrough. I am a nonprofit expert over 35 years now of experience
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
helping nonprofit
How are you? How are you?
organizations.
How are you? Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. For those of you all who are
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Um, Working with nonprofit organizations, helping you to fundraise, helping you to um, organize, and really helping you understand all that is necessary and relevant to moving your nonprofit organization forward. Um, I started in this world of fundraising as an intern in college and wrote my very first grant as an intern, and then went on to become a nonprofit leader myself, running and managing nonprofit organizations, as well as training and coaching and helping organizations really get the understanding and clarity and growth of capacity, internal capacity, so that organizations would know how to put together those strategies that are essential and necessary to expand your program and expand your organizational reach. And how do you do that? You do that by growing in your community. I really want to begin a series where I want to commit to coming on daily just to give some nonprofit nuggets, short nuggets to help you and your organization to deliver impactful programs, but also have the resource to do it, the resource to do it. And if you have any questions that you would like for me to cover during our time together, please put it down in the comments and I'll be happy to go live about that tomorrow. Okay. So, you know who I am. I am considered the nonprofit expert or the nonprofit guru. Again, I've been doing this work for close to 40 years. And so, one of the things that I have learned in doing the work and coaching in the work is the consistency of messaging as it relates to why donors give. Why do people give, right? People give because of impact. What is that impact? Impact is the change, the result of what it is that you are ultimately visioned and have envisioned to do to improve lives, to change the conditions of those in your community for the betterment of the community as a whole, right? So we start nonprofit organizations to make a difference, to bring about impact and change. Now, every organization is a community-based organization, and so you want to make sure that you have the buy-in of the community, the awareness of the community, the connection to the community, so that that community, be your donors, be your sponsors, be your supporters, be your funders, they then understand, know, and are aware of the work that you're doing and the impact of the work that you're doing, because that it is indeed what they are supporting. Okay. One of the things that I find as a coach is that we hear these terms and we understand in theory what they mean, but how do we do them practically, right? So I'm that practical girl. I'm the girl that says, listen, I know what you said, but how do I do it, right? I know what you said, but how do I do that? And I think that that is where there is a huge disconnect between the information and the knowledge that is shared in these platforms to those of you who are just starting your nonprofits or you're thinking about starting your nonprofits. It's like, but how do I make the connection from what I heard and I understand a portion of it, but then how do I implement and execute that thing so that your organization then can build capacity around it and then be successful in it? So that's what we want to talk about today, is about the nonprofit nugget that I want to drop are the truths and the simple truths about fundraising for your nonprofit organizations. I know that many of you have started your nonprofit and you're paying for things out of your pocket. And why is that? Because you're not connected to the community. So let's talk about, how do you connect to the community? How do you find donors? That's probably one of the most you know, you know, frequent questions that I get. Jen, how do I find donors? Or how do I get a grant? Or how do I get money, right? How do I get money to help pay for the program and the operations and all of the things that are necessary and important so that your organization can be successful? So let's talk about the how do you do that, right? There are three things that I made it really simple for you to remember, all right? People give because they trust, right? Giving is an emotional uh, is an emotional transaction, not so much a logical transaction, but more of an emotional transaction. And it's really built behind trust. I trust in what you're doing. I trust in what your outcome is going to be. I trust your ability to do what you say that you're going to do. I trust that the impact that you are having within the community is important. I trust that you are going to steward the resources in the way that you say that you are. I trust that the people that are in your program are going to be changed, right? So people who are not in your program, these are your donors, these are your sponsors, these are your funders, they're not in your program, but you've got to build their trust, right? Because those are the ones that are going to be contributing to you the money. So how do you build that trust, right? How do you build that trust? You build that trust through three ways, okay? One is connection. You are wanting to connect with those individuals, those entities, those businesses, those funders around, number two, the concern. Okay. You connect with them because they either have experience, they understand what you're doing as important. They also see that the need that your organization is addressing is important. They believe in your ability, your capacity, your plan, and your strategy, right? So you connect around that common thing. Okay. Anybody that builds trust with anybody, it has to be about something that we mutually agree on, right? You don't build friends without first saying, yeah, we enjoy the same things, we enjoy going to the same places. There has to be some level of connection before you build that relationship. And so those who support your organization, you want them to be in relationship with your organization, okay? And so how do you connect with them? You connect with them around those things that you both agree on. You both agree that there is a need in the community and that your organization can be that solution. You agree, you come into agreement that by supporting of this work, this is what's going to change or could change, right? You agree that what's at stake if this is not addressed, okay? And so you have those conversations. How do you get to this concern conversation, Jen? You have the conversation, right? That means that you, as the leader of your nonprofit organization, you're not so much going in telling them or begging them, as some people would say, Jen, I feel like I'm begging, I'm begging. No, you are making connections, right? You are reaching out to those people who have the concern, who have the interest, who have the experience, who have the reach, who have the influence, who have some type of affinity to what you're doing. And so, how do you get into those spaces? You get into those spaces through networking events. You get into those spaces through peer-to-peer conversations. You get into those conversations through introductions, right? There's all kind of ways to get into that conversation. But once that trust is built, once that understanding is built, right? Now you're working together to alleviate that mutual concern. You're concerned about a particular audience. Oh my gosh, so are these individuals that would support your organization. You then are working together, right? You have the program, they're supporting your program because they too understand that what you're doing is important, okay? And now you're conveying back to them, communicating back to them what you were able to do with their support. So you together now are addressing a mutual concern. You are connected in relationship of stewardship, right? Of impact. You are connected mutually by wanting to see the change, not just for the people who are in your program, but also for the people who or the community that's impacted by your program. All right. I think that one thing that's often not emphasized enough is that your organization is essential. You do the work that government cannot do. You do the work that businesses cannot do, right? So you are an essential element, an essential organization in your community, right? You are saving, transforming, altering people's lives, and you are doing it with the impact. The impact means the change. That means what was a problem for this group, for many of those is no longer a problem. Right. So now they've moved out of your program so that you can move others in and your program can solve their concerns as well. So just being very clear about how do we raise money in the nonprofit world? How do we find donors? We find them around having conversations around mutual concern. Okay. And you're going in with a huge offer, right? You're not going in just taking, I need. We're not chasing checks. We're not advocating or growing or, you know, trying to put organizations in a petri dish to say, I need donors. You want relationships, okay? You want relationships that are fruitful, that are impactful, that are mutually beneficial, right? So the donor is supporting your work because you're doing what they also believe and understand to be important. It's not a one sided relationship. All right. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. They support your organization, and you then give back to them through your reports, through your testimonials, through your updates, what you've been able to do together. All right. That you are doing the work that they believe in. And how do you know what they believe in? You have to have the conversation. All right. You have to have the conversation. So that conversation begins with, you know, our organization is looking to address whatever the issue is, be it homelessness, be it mentoring, be it abuse, whatever that cause is, and you're able to talk about what is going on in the community. You're saying that this is the incidences of this issue in the community, and we know that there's a gap that's not being filled, right? We know that there's a void, and our organization is here to fill that void. And we're looking for individuals and organizations and businesses who will assist us to really transform the landscape of this community. And by doing that, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to be able to reduce the number of this or increase the number of that, depending on what your goal is. And they then say, "Oh my gosh, that's so important. That's so necessary. What can I do to help?" And then you have that plan laid out for the ways in which they can be involved. Okay. So I just really want to empower you to know that you're not coming into the conversation from a place of begging. You're coming into the conversations around, we're looking for people who will join us in meeting this need. We're looking for people that we can partner with and share a mutual benefit to, right? So if an organization or a business or an agency is supporting your work, you want to be able to share with them what you're going to do for them, right? That is what um, that is what relationship is. It is mutually beneficial. Okay. And so those people who give to your organization, they get a benefit, right? No one goes to work every day, get a paycheck to just give it away because they don't care what that happens with their money. Nobody does that. You don't do that. Right. So you want to make sure that you are making this relationship, the fulfillment of their desire, um, rewarding, right? So that's where you're giving them back feedback, you're sharing testimonials, you're giving back to them the evidence that what they're using, what you're doing with their support is doing and change in the area of changing lives, transforming the landscape of your community. All right. You are a community based organization. And if we could just get that in mind first, that you are here to serve and to meet and to fill a void in the community, and that your work is important, that your impact is real. All right. 98% of your donors give because of impact. 98% of your donors give because of impact. 98% of your donors give because of impact. So you lead the conversation talking about impact. You lead the conversation talking about what's going to change and why it's important and what's at stake if this doesn't happen. Expressing to them how you're going to use their resources, what people look like when they come into your program, and what they look like when they leave their program, right? So you're able to convey this through your social media, through your emails, through your face to face conversations, through your introductions to individuals and letting them know what's in it for them, right? Because again, we're in a relationship. What's in it for them? All right. What are they concerned about? What are they interested in seeing? Right? What would they like to see changed in the area of the problem that your organization is solving? And so you all begin to build that conversation of trust, build that conversation around capacity, and build that conversation around impact. Right. So I want you all to come out of the box of you're having to do this work all by yourself, because that's not the way it's designed. That's not the way it's set up. And I really emphasize a lot, not just on practicality or theory. I am a coach of execution and implementation. Why? Because I've done the job, right? I've run the nonprofit organization every single day and had to oversee and wear all the hats as it relates to the board, as it relates to community, as it relates to fundraising, as it relates to program, as it relates to finances, as it relates to staff, right? So being in that role of managing the entire organization gives me a very different perspective than those who manage just a department or fundraising, right? So I am a grant writer, I am a professional fundraiser, and in addition to that, I am the nonprofit executive leader. So when I speak about the nonprofit, I'm speaking about it from a place of strategy, of execution, of capacity, because as the leader, you've got to be able to speak to all of those elements so that you can get not only the resources for the program, but that you also have the staff, that you have the materials, that you have the supplies, that you have the facilities to implement that program, right? That we take your theory or your idea of passion and put a plan behind it, okay? There are three reasons that nonprofit organizations struggle, only three. The first one is I don't have a strategic plan. I don't have a plan on who to put on my board. I don't have a plan on how to fundraise. I don't have a plan on how to grow. I don't have a plan of how to get donors. I don't have a plan, right? And because you don't have a plan, that means you're not articulating impact. If 98% of your donors give because of impact, 98% of your donors give because of impact, my question is, how many potential or prospective donors are we articulating impact to? Not passion, right? Not program, but impact. Impact, okay? And then number three, the leader is not clear or sure what to do. That's at the root of there not being the fruit of money. All right. At the root, that's bears the fruit of no money, right? Money is not the root. Money is not the root. Money is a fruit. The root is I don't have a plan. Jen, I started this nonprofit and I didn't identify other people, other businesses, I don't know how to reach or to communicate or to introduce our program to these other entities that could and would support the work. I don't know how to make that introduction. I don't know how to build that solid foundation beyond that first gift, right? That's the plan part. That's the plan of what is your role? What is the board's role? What is your program's execution's role? What is it that you need to know and what is it that you need to share? That's a part of your plan that you're daily working. This plan doesn't die, y'all. This is an ongoing plan, right? This is your strategic plan. This is your business plan, as it were. This is your fundraising plan. And not having that plan, that strategy of where we are now and where do we need to grow and what are going to be those practical steps that we can implement and execute to get there, that's why there's no money, because that part is missing. Then you're not articulating impact enough, right? You're busy on social media, or you're not consistent on social media, or you're not growing or even making the ask, right? Or you're not sharing the impact. Activity is not impact. Activity is not impact. Activity is not impact. All right. And so many of you are sharing activity, but that is not why people give. 98% of your donors give because of impact. What is impact, Jen? Impact is that change. Impact is what is the result. Okay. Not what you do, but what is the production or the outcome of what you do, right? And so your program are those strategic activities, right? Mentoring, feeding, housing, those are activities that result in, that's the impact. So your donors and your funders promote and support the outcome. The activities is what lead to the outcome. All right, I hope that's clear. So, not being able to articulate the impact, right? Justifying the funds, justifying the need for salaries. That those things are essential to in order to lead to the outcome, the impact. All right. And then the number three reason is the leader that says, I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know where to go to get what I don't know. And because I don't know how to get what I don't know, the organization is stuck. Because of those three reasons, I don't have a strategic plan, I'm not articulating impact, and I, as a leader, don't know what I don't know. And because of my lack of knowing, the organization is stuck. That bears the fruit of no money, no finances, no resource. All right. So, where do you find donors? How do you get monthly donors? Right now, there's a big drive for the year end push, right? Giving Tuesday is coming up, but it's the Giving Tuesday campaign is the activity, right? How do you get people to pay attention to your Giving Tuesday campaign? How do you get people to give beyond that Tuesday? How do you get your program and your operations and your organizations funded well beyond this time in this season? Connection, relationship, right? Understanding that beyond Giving Tuesday, what are those mutual concerns that yourself and your potential or prospective donors could work towards achieving together? All right. Asking them to join you in this cause, finding out what do they know about this cause and what would they feel good about seeing as a result, and then communicating that back to them, that once you've achieved success, once you've helped and changed and transformed lives, letting them know that they have entrusted you and that you have been a good steward of their resource and their trust, and that you care about them to report back to them. And that deepens the relationship. Again, giving is an emotional thing built on trust, okay? Built on trust. So you can't expect that someone who doesn't know you is going to give you a huge check and you've not given them any reason to connect first. That's kind of pimpish. Sorry, I that just slipped out. Right, it's kind of pimpish. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are building that you are building good relationships. You want to make sure that you are open to making those connections. And I just happen to know that a lot of people are like, Jen, I don't know where to start. Jen, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to say. How do I make that introduction? And many of you all are spamming the world, right? Sending out all of these emails to people who don't know you and you're asking for money. And again, they don't know you, right? I would say that it would be a better effort to start the conversation around what would they like to see? What do they know about the issues and the concerns that your organization is addressing? And um, how can you help them achieve what's of interest to them? Right? Having that conversation coming in, not with your hand out, but with your hand extended to say, I would love to have a conversation around what you know and share with you what we do and see if what we do is of interest to you. All right. That's before the conversation around money. You want to build relationships. Relationships turn into money. Now, for those of you who say, well, Jen, that just takes like a long time. Listen, it takes a longer time to do it the wrong way than it takes to do it the right way. Okay. It takes a much longer time to do it the wrong way than to do it the right way. Okay. I've been doing this work now for close to 40 years. And as a professional fundraiser, I can tell you that the model and the steps that I have created work. They work every time, every time. Always people give to people. Always people give to people that they trust. Always people support things that are changing and transforming. Always people want to know that what they support is working. Have that conversation earlier, right? Then you're able to build a longer and more lasting trust with your donors and your supporters. Okay. So I'm going to end it right there because I know it's a lot, but I just wanted to come on and I want to make it my goal to come on every day. This is just, uh, uh, you know, the first one. But my heart as we go into 2021 is to share nonprofit nuggets with you that are going to inspire, that are going to motivate, that are going to bring clarity, strategy, that's going to comfort, right, and encourage, and that's going to embolden you to do this work that is important. I always say that there are at least 1,000 people right now who are praying for a solution to their problems. Your program is that solution. right? You are an organization whose mission matters, okay? Missions matter. And so, of that thousand that are praying for a solution to their problems, be it homelessness, be it veterans, be it feeding, be it whatever it is, your organization and your mission matters in your community. And so, you as the leader, you as the executive director, you as the one who is the carrier of change, I just want you to know that the work that you do is important. All right. And again, you're doing the work that businesses cannot do and that um, the government cannot do. All right. So just be inspired, and that if you have the how to question, right? How do I do that? That's what I'm here to share with you, of how to raise the funds, how to start your organization with clarity and strategy, how to build your capacity financially, programmatically, right? Professionally, develop, in the area of development so that you can lead an organization to growth, to change, and to greater impact. All right. I believe in your work. This is something I'm very passionate about. And for those of you all who follow me on Facebook, I have a whole community on Facebook called Nonprofit Leaders Impacting Lives, Nonprofit Leaders Impacting Lives. And if you'd like to just have a conversation with me, I offer a consult. You can go to my website. I'll put it in the link below, or get on my calendar. I'll put it in the link below as well. Just know that my heart is to come on every day to share with you, to inspire you, to motivate you, to give you some nuggets that are going to help you take action, and that action will then turn into greater success financially, programmatically, organizationally, so that you then know how to run your organization for success, because you are leaving a legacy of change. You are leaving a legacy of transformation. And I'm just happy to see so many of you be successful. All right. My goal is to help 2,000 organizations going into 2021. That is my goal. And so I'm going to start by doing these nonprofit nuggets. And so I would appreciate if you would share, if you would subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. If there's anything that you would like for me to cover, or any question that you have specifically, put it in the comments below, and I'll make sure to cover that in the days coming up. All right, y'all, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay.